It's alive! It's alive! This bait right here, the urchin style bait, is taking over bass fishing right now. And for good reason. It's catching monster fish, it's winning huge tournaments, and people are buying them all. Good luck finding the original Coike, but even these other brands that are coming out are selling out immediately upon release. So it's hard to find. It's hard to even get once you order them because then it takes time to ship. That means you can't get on the water right away and enjoy the opportunity to catch fish. So I wanted to create my own version for a fraction of the cost, and it's available whenever I'm able to do it. And the results are pretty freaking cool. So let's build our own urchin baits for a fraction of the cost, and I'll show you exactly how you can do it from Hobby Lobby and Harbor Freight. Going down the resin aisle, for those that make little pendants, different things like that with those silicone molds, and I stumbled across a resin dice mold for $3.75. Remember that. So it got me thinking, when you take a 20-sided dice or even a 12-sided version, you can create a base point that is so perfect to make an urchin bait from. You don't need much else. So I went and got that, and I found some extra trout worms that I had laying around, and we're going to create a Frankenstein urchin. The Franken urchin, however you want to call it. But we're going to take a poured dice just like this and go catch some fish with it. But what do we need from Harbor Freight then? Well, you got to get something that you can weld these together with a hot knife. This is a Harbor Freight hot knife. You guys can easily find these at your local stores, and let me tell you, this is one of the best untouched tools for bait making that's not talked about enough. You literally can take this knife, because this gets hot, and you can weld two things together. And in this case, being able to melt the plastic and put the legs on, you can create your own urchin baits that work. So we're going to put this all together. I have a little vise that this sits in to make it a lot easier to handle and not worry about getting yourself burned. And then we're going to pour up first our dice center cores, and we'll go from there. Remember, molten plastic is dangerous, and you always want to have proper safety equipment and ventilation. For the bait maker, but also for the use, there's two things to note on this dice mold. You have two specific dice that I really think have their own purpose in a different manner of how you're going to fish them. A 12-sided and a 20-sided. Now, the video portion clip at the beginning, you saw prototype number 1 of the Franken Urchin. I did end up making a second one because I only made one, and of course then hook a fish and lose it. But that was basically it. 18 different legs, really looks cool, works well for concept. That was on the 20-sided die, and I really was happy with how that came out. But when you look at an actual urchin bait, you can notice that these legs are more rigid. Because of the material, they stand out, they really move well. Prototype 1 of our Franken Urchin was really heavy made in my end of thought to have a lot of movement. Any twitch, these legs are going to move and do really well doing so. And I think that really brings an aspect to discuss in regards to what arms you choose to use. The worms on prototype 1 had a little flat tail. So that's going to catch water. It's going to move different. There are straight tail worms that work really well. And I can show you here a version of the straight tail. Looks very similar to this guy, but again, because I'm using a little bit softer durometer of plastic, this is going to have more movement on the twitch, which is what I was going for. And then ultimately I settled on a new worm that I'm making. This little guy here with the kind of more stubby tail. This, in my thought, as you can just see here, it does have a lot of movement, but because it's also a little more bulky through the body section, it keeps a more rigid arm. So it will shimmy and shiver as it needs to, but it's not going to fold all the way over like a full-size straight tail. This version has a lot more bend in the worm. So my theory and thought was to utilize this guy, utilizing the 12-sided, and see what we can do to come up with a new Frankenstein Urchin design and see how this is going to fish. Don't get me wrong, prototype here is absolutely going to be fished, but I think we can create some really fun stuff and have a different couple options to utilize on the water. So check it out. I don't know about you, but that looks dang good. And the action is just like the real thing at a fraction of the cost, like I said. I want to show you a little bit how I chose to rig this. I'm looking at a lot of different ways that other people are doing it, and I'm going to give this a go. I got 2 nail weights in the bottom and a size 1 treble hook on the top with a little keeper on this side so that this is going to stay pinned. In the casting of this, right, the durability of having the saltwater blend in the center of the bait is giving this a really solid core to use. And I've cast it around already and just played around with this. It does not move on that hook. Catching a fish on it, we'll have to see that. But we poured the regular arms in just a basic worm blend of plastic, so they get a little bit more action out of it. And when you look at this, you get that contrast of color. Now, I don't know about you, but I think this is going to really work, and I'm going to be testing it out. So let's go try it. After losing a fish like that, redemption is a must. And if you want to see if these new orange core builds are going to finally get the job done, or if we're going to have to scale this thing up to a full-blown custom mold to beat these bass, hit that subscribe button right now, because the next chapter is already hitting the workbench. Tight lines, God bless, and fish on!